What's going on, you guys? My name's Ty Knots and welcome to Top 5 Unknowns, 5 YouTubers who committed crimes. Number 5. In the late 2000s, a man named Andrew Haley, or Catch Me Killer, posted a YouTube video claiming that he'd taken the lives of 16 people. He ended up turning the confession into a game after distorting his voice and giving viewers clues to try to catch him. To further this, he used names and photos of real-life disappearances, claiming to have information about what truly happened to these individuals. The victims were in fact real. However, Andrew's story appears to have been completely falsified. Police were quickly alerted to Andrew's video, at which point they were easily able to track him down. He was taken in for questioning, but soon found out that the entire event was staged. At this point, he was arrested for tampering with evidence and making false claims. From here, he faced trial and was convicted, at which point he was sentenced to a 2-year work program. After his release, he began to question his charges. Andrew claims that while his actions were certainly wrong, he never tampered with any sort of evidence or made any sort of false claims, simply fictional ones. He insisted that his actions were covered under his First Amendment rights to free speech. He took his claims to court and the tampering and evidence charges were dropped, though the false claims charges remain. Before we continue, I just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Vikings War of Clans. Vikings is an extremely addictive mobile app that places you in a world filled with Vikings, in which you can lead an army, conquer other settlements, and even communicate with players across the world. It's fairly similar to games we all loved from the 90s, such as Warcraft and Starcraft. One interesting fact is that this app has over 20 million active users worldwide. Though if you're still not convinced, just realize that Vikings is one of very few games that blend excellent 3D graphics with engaging and addictive gameplay. Clan battles, live events, and even competitions are hosted all the time, keeping the community extremely active. Support Top 5 Unknowns by downloading Vikings for free using the link in the description. This link will give you a special bonus of 2,000 gold coins and a protective shield just for signing up. Also, don't forget to look me up personally. My username is Ty_Knots. But let's get on with the video. Number 4. A makeup artist YouTuber by the name of Candy Johnson was charged with 2 crimes involving her 13-year-old son back in 2010. Allegedly, her first charge was for child endangerment. The courts found that her 12-year-old son had allegedly been left home alone while Candy was on a business trip in LA. Police investigated and claimed that her home was nearly uninhabitable, with old food and dishes seemingly everywhere. Her next charge was related to her second son, who had allegedly been skipping out on school. Police say that dozens of letters were sent to Candy indicating that her son was repeatedly absent from his classes. She eventually pled guilty to both charges, and in exchange, the endangerment charge was dropped. She was then sentenced to 90 days in prison. However, what may actually be worse is that Candy then posted a video pleading for her viewers to pay for her court costs, which are reportedly thousands of dollars. Her fans happily agreed, and according to reports, she received more than she even requested. After this, her followers dropped off significantly as many viewers felt as though they were simply being taken advantage of. Number 3. David Rock was a popular YouTuber who often posted videos of his antics taking place on his farm. At his peak, he had 92,000 subscribers and was even being paid up to $15,000 a month by YouTube in exchange for uploading content regularly. Though by 2009, David's past began to become public, and his newfound career began to crumble. His viewers soon found out that David had pled guilty to 7 separate charges of sexually exposing children. In court, he admitted to recording videos of young boys committing sexual acts, and because of this, David was no longer allowed near children privately. And in fact, he admitted to suffering from manic depression, though he had allegedly been treated for this, but that minors are still not allowed on or near his property without an adult present. After this, his channel began to fall apart, with his followers slowly abandoning him. His views began to dwindle, and his account was finally deactivated due to violating YouTube's terms of service, though there's no clear indication of what exactly he violated. To this day, he's never returned to the platform. Number 2. A man by the name of Edward first rose to fame back in the 1970s when he was hired to work on a local television show in Kansas City, in which he played a character named Uncle Ed. However, this career didn't last too long, as he was soon arrested for being sexually involved with a 14-year-old. He was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to jail for 18 months. Upon his release, he was quoted as saying, "I would never sexually offend again, but we can't help but sin. We're all human beings." By 2007, he had his computers and alcohol confiscated from him after he failed to inform local authorities of his criminal past, though it remains unclear why this would have been necessary. He insisted that he did this so as not to alert or cause discomfort for his neighbors. Throughout the process of his electronics being taken away, police found video footage of Edward that had been uploaded to YouTube of him lip-syncing the song Pretty Woman. As it would turn out, Edward had been recording these clips and having his friends upload them. However, he was unaware that this was technically in violation of his apparent probation. Because of this, he was arrested in 2010 and sentenced to 5 years in prison. However, he passed away from cancer just 2 years later. Number 1. Austin Jones was a massive YouTuber and a cappella singer whose videos commonly gained millions of views, with him often covering pop artists such as Justin Bieber and Fall Out Boy. The vast majority of his 500,000 followers are believed to have been younger female viewers, and it was his actions with these fans that ultimately led him to face criminal charges that could land him in up to 15 years in prison. According to reports, Austin allegedly had been sexually involved with a 14-year-old girl via Facebook. Throughout their Facebook chat, Austin allegedly enticed the girl to prove that she was his biggest fan. She then proceeded to send him 25 separate videos, many of which were sexually explicit. According to investigators, this was only one of a series of messages that Austin had exchanged with his fans, with records seeming to indicate that he had contacted dozens of underage fans and allegedly followed the same template. He would apparently entice them to send explicit content as part of a quote audition, and that whoever won this fictional contest would be allowed to perform a sexual act with him, though thankfully no supposed winner was ever selected. Austin was then arrested from a Chicago airport a short while later, where he confessed to authorities and explained his actions. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep updated with our videos.